My next guest is going to be taking on Claressa Shields coming up here at PFL 4 on June 10th. It is Brittney Elkin joining me here on the program for the very first time. Brittney, how's it going?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well, but I'm not in a restaurant right now. Where are you? I got to know. Is this like a diner? Where are you at right now?
I'm in a really nice restaurant. What is this restaurant? It's called Blue. Blue. It's called Blue. It's in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Gotcha. Big fight here against Claressa Shields. How excited were you to get this matchup? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of fighters that would want to be the first pro fight for Claressa Shields.
I was actually just like at first, but it's been like growing in excitement day by day now. Everything has been just like leading up to getting a pimple to the head. I'm very excited to be. The best part about this fight is being one of the fighters in it. It's really, really exciting to be picked. I did have a coach from a different camp message me and say, "Why did they pick you? It should have been somebody else." And I was like, "I don't know," but yeah, it's an honor to be in this fight. Yeah, I'm happy.
Well, you just sort of mentioned off the top there. Initially, you were kind of like, if I'm hearing you correctly, you kind of were like, I don't know if I want this fight. But why did you feel that way? I was just curious.
Because I was tired. I was retired. I was all the way out. I had the whole leaving MMA identity crisis already, and it was just like, I'm in combative sports still, but I just, I was kind of like, do I want to do this or not? Do I want to go dive back in? Because I already had left, and I've been out. So when Bobby broke my arm in, it was either 2019 or 2020.
2019, I did my research because you didn't fight at all last year. I was going to ask you about that, but this all makes sense if you had retired. I didn't know that.
Yes, she broke my arm in 3 places. I blocked a head kick, and I just lost to Kayla before her. I'm on, a losing streak. And I was like, okay, I'm going to attack combative sports in a different way. And so I left MMA in my whole persona, head, and everything. So I was like retired. And I started doing like professional grappling bouts. And I've always done those, but like, just continued further and driving that and just geared my goals differently. And then, fuck it. I'm not retired. And
of all things to spark things up again on your career, it's fighting someone like Claressa Shields who, everyone's going to be watching this fight, right? They want to see how she's going to do in her first pro fight. So in some ways, has your outlook changed? You sort of talked about it now, you're excited, but I'm sure even just, the longevity of your career now, just thinking what could be possible with a win here, because it would be huge.
Yeah, it's definitely, I want to think positive, I'm definitely thinking positive. I think I could win. I think I am going to win. Mm-hmm. It took a minute to get there. I'm a real person. Like I had to get confident again. I had to be like, I still have tools in this fucking box. I still can do this, so I'd say that confidence is reignited, and reflamed. I had to show myself that I was still an able fighter to do it. I am excited. I'm fucking pumped. I'm excited to get in there because I think I have the tools to beat her. So.
Well, what's interesting too is that you didn't, like you said, you didn't completely leave combat sports. You were doing grappling last year, which is probably going to suit you quite well for this fight. Because I think if there's one way to win, it would probably be on the ground, right? You've trained as a martial artist for a very long time, especially with the ground game, whereas she hasn't, right? She's sort of playing catch up in that area. She's a good boxer, and I know MMA boxing and striking are different, but how much of an advantage do you think that is that you just focused on jiu-jitsu over the last year, basically?
I think it's a super advantage. I hope it brings me to the win. She's just focused on striking. So, I have to look at her advantages and then be aware of them and not go and play into her game. I do feel that I can throw something at her she's never seen with a lot of the groundwork. And if she's trying to catch up in 6 months, we don't know how long she's been actually training because I'm not a personal friend with her. So you can only assume things, you know what I mean? And I just don't think there's enough time to catch up on that. But then there's not enough time for me to be an Olympic boxer and stand in front of her. So we both have to play into our skill sets. I just hope mine comes better and has more options, than just striking, and I think if I can get a hold of her, I don't think she's going to get away. That's what I'm telling myself every morning in the mirror.
I don't think it's any secret. PFL would want Claressa to win, right? They made this big deal of bringing her in and stuff. And I know you've been in this spot before. You fought Kayla Harrison, same thing. She's sort of the face of PFL right now. Do you feel like there's more, like, is there any pressure on you at this point? Because, if you go out there and win, it's going to be a huge upside. Whereas if Claressa loses, it's going to be pretty bad for her to come over and to lose her first pro fight, right? Is that something you've thought of in terms of the pressure in this fight?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like all the pressure's off of me. I really am looked at it as like, let's just say you're just a fan that knows nothing and you see my record, you're going to say, oh, that bitch is going to lose. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like a lot of the pressure's off of me, and that gets to make me have a lot more fun of a fight. You know, I'm not sitting here deciding if I get a contract next. I'm only signed to one contract. That's all I expect, you know, and like I'm not worried about, you know, talking shit to somebody online that might be a future fight that I've seen her do earlier in the camp. You know what I mean? Like, I have way less to worry about. If I lose, I'm expected to lose. If I win, though, it'd be pretty dope.
It would be
And
very dope. Yeah.
I feel like it makes me be able to have more time to think because I'm not worried about all those pressures, you know. And I have clear thought. I have a clear thought to victory, I hope. And yeah, I'm loving this low pressure on me fight thing, you know, because if it doesn't work out, then I still have a really complete life, you know what I mean? But if it does, then I have a lot of big dreams that could come forward, you know. So
And I mean, we've seen this happen before. Look, we had a couple weeks ago, I know not same type of thing, but in Bellator, we had Valerie Loretta a few weeks ago for them. I don't know if you know who she is, but she was sort of one of their big stars. Hannah Guy, who's like an unknown fighter, came in and just beat her. So we've seen, you know, upsets happen and what it can do for certain fighters. So that's kind of interesting. Training camp, you're with Zach Makovsky, one of my favorite fighters to talk to. What type of camp have you had leading into this? Who are you getting to work with?
So I actually met Zach probably like a week after I took the fight, and then our personalities grew. Ended up being really, really nice compliment to like a lot of the game I already play. So he just gave me a little bit, like, sharpen the tools that were already kind of in the chest, you know. I worked with a lot with the 10 Planet guys when I was just getting to the East Coast. I rolled a lot with Unity because it's close to my home in Manhattan. And I've been driving to Jersey at least once a week to work with the Studio Squad. Those are like the Nicky Rod guys, and the, you know, Jay Ravuto is the like leader of that pack. And yeah, I've just had a real complete camp with a lot of great men. I've had a lot of good women in my camp too. Like, I had Amanda LeVay. She's with Bellator. She's trying to make her pro debut on Bellator. I know she's signed. And I've had a lot of, I feel a lot of good skill in my ear, you know. And then, like, they're seeing what, you know, sometimes when you see something for the first time, you're like, hey, add to this like this. And you haven't seen it every single day. So you look for something new to help somebody. So I think they've helped me well and prepare me well and feel very well prepared.
How much weight do you have to cut for this fight with it being at 155?
Right now, I'm 8 pounds away.
Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, it's not much.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know, I just had a salad and a piece of chicken. I don't think weight cutting's ever fun. When they called me, I was a different body type at 170. I was probably like 173 when they called. I'm not like, I haven't dropped a ton of weight, but my body type has incredibly changed and tightened up. So I plan on doing that, you know, water, maybe a pound or two less and then the rest water, you know what I mean? But I go into quarantine on Sunday, and me and Brianna Fasori are going to take that and
Pink Ranger. Go. Love it. That's great.
Yeah, in my corner. You'll see her in my corner.
Yeah. So I imagine Zach will be in your corner, or you mentioned.
He was, man. I wish I would have changed that a long time ago. I had the corner already picked, and what happened was like they give you all these deadlines, right? So I had all those guys in, I had all my medicals in, and then I started to really like talk to one of my good friends, David. I was like, man, I wish I could have put Zach in there. And I like, in hindsight's always 20/20, right? You would have done it a little different. The 3 people I put in my corner, I'm very close with, and I've worked with a long time, so I am confident in that corner. But I think that Zach could have really helped and added that year, like, especially of the most current things we're working on. You know, sometimes you just know the words to say in that moment, like fucking Friday's class, bitch, you know? So I think Zach could have done a lot better at like narrowing that like advice down in this specified camp, but I still am very confident. And if I have another fight, I hope he's in the next one.
How's this fight playing out on June 10th?
I really feel like there's going to be a feel out round. A lot of like learning. We're going to learn a lot in that first round. I think, you know, both of us are going to learn boundaries. And I think that I'm going to close the distance on her and grab a hold of her a lot of times. If she gets away, good job. If not, second round TKO is how I feel it's going to go. I think the first round's going to be a lot of energy, a lot of trying to calm it down. If I can stop it in the first round, that's woohoo, you know, but I truly feel that we'll see it go into the second.
Before we go, what's downtime looking like right now? How are you keeping yourself sane in between this big fight? What were you watching, any TV or anything? I know you're training a lot, but there's got to be some TV time.
I watch movies sometimes. Like I've not been on much of a movie kick. I draw comic books.
Oh, do you? That's awesome.
Yeah, I've always drawn stick figure comics, and I do like funny humor stuff. The funniest thing that my mom sent me a box of my stuff I used to do when I was a kid, like I crochet and I knit and do things like that. And so my mom just sent me this like care package of stuff to kind of disconnect. And it's funny, I've just been crocheting hats for my friends. Like for this past week, I can crochet a hat in like 3 hours, and just like having something to do with your hands and get out of it, because the training's done. I'm in shape, and now it's just getting in there. So I'm just funny conversations with friends, making jokes, keeping it light. And I really can't think about anything about me and Claressa. If I was just bullshitting you for the last 2 minutes about what I'm doing, I'm crocheting and thinking about Claressa is what I'm doing.
And eating at a good restaurant, too, by the sounds of it, which reminds me, I will leave you to that. Brittney, thank you so much for the time. Anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word.
I want to thank everybody welcoming on the East Coast. I mean, 10th Finest Finishers has taken me in. Unity Jiu-Jitsu has spent a lot of time with me. Studio 84. But, really back home, my roots, I want to thank Compound Training Center. They've really put in years and years of work. And I wouldn't be this complete fighter with I'd name off all my sponsors, but I think I have like 1,500.
There you go. So you put them on the social media, you plug the social media, they'll see it there. That's an easy advertisement, right?
Yeah, go check me out on Instagram because I don't answer anything else.
There you go.
Elkin MMA.